All right, WandaVision, episode 5. I promised Sarah I wasn't going to curse too much because her parents might be watching, but holy shit. All right, folks, welcome back to WandaVisionaries, our WandaVision after show recap. And of course, we're going to be talking full spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode, go back, watch it, and then come back and watch us talk about it. Welcome. Coming on the show for the first time, coming onto the channel for the first time, much talked about all the time. We didn't have Harry Potter but we have WandaVision. Sarah was texting me all this stuff. I was like, well, Sarah, why don't you just come on? Let's talk about this on here. So, Sarah, Queen of the North, what's going on? How you doing?
Good. I'm so excited to talk about this because I know none of the comic stuff, so I can't wait.
Sarah's going. She's a newcomer, new fresh, some of the movies and stuff, and she's been doing some deep dives. So it's cool to get that perspective of fandom right here. And Mr. Nip, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm awake, got my coffee, I'm ready to go. Good episode. I'm excited. Stepping it up. The shit is getting stepped up to another level, so I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about this episode. First, before we go on, I just want to talk to Sarah real quick. Just kind of your fandom, your big Harry Potter mark, Game of Thrones, and a lot of cool fantasy TV and such. So just talk about your fandom real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm super into Harry Potter. I have a Harry Potter knitting book if you want to know how nerdy I am. And got super into Game of Thrones, was all about it. Obviously that kind of petered out at the end, but oh well. We'll never get the last books. Does anybody think we're getting the last books? No.
He better hurry up because he's gonna, he might die before then. He's getting up there, man.
Supposedly he's been working on them during quarantine. He did 100 or 200 pages or something. I just read some stupid article about that.
Oh wow, yeah. Great! I would love that. As far as Marvel goes, though, I kind of honestly got into it. I saw Infinity Wars with my friends in the movie theaters, and I kept being like, "Who's that? Who's that?" And oh my god, you just have to watch the movies. And so I went back and I've been watching all of them since then. So I'm pretty new, but I'm so into it.
What's a standout movie so far for you?
I mean, this is controversial, I think, but I love Guardians because the music is so good.
Yeah, I love the first one, Guardians. I'm a huge Guardians fan.
Yeah.
I like them both. First was definitely better, but I like them both.
Yeah, second one I have issues with, but the first one is amazing. It's definitely my top 5 favorite comic book films.
Yeah, I play the soundtrack all the time.
Oh, the soundtrack is amazing. Oh, the soundtrack's so good. I love the soundtrack so much.
Soundtrack is
I can listen. I can listen to Redbone all day, man. Yeah. All right, so let's come and get our Wanda here. So episode 5. So many things. We'll talk about the big spoiler a little later. That we got lots of stuff to talk about that. But we're kind of we're jumping in. This is definitely set in the 80s. Definitely has the opening credits were definitely Growing Pains, Full House, Family Ties vibe.
Straight up, definitely.
Family Ties had that painting thing, and the Graham Pains had the pictures of the kids growing up and stuff like that. And they ended with the Full House shot, which is ironic because her twin sisters played the Olsen twins, or one of the Olsen twins at one time, anyways. What you guys think of the setting of this episode? We got the 80s, one of my favorite decades. So what do you think of this opening, Sarah?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was so fun. And this sweeping, Full House running shot. I thought the music was a little sad, but maybe I'm misremembering 80s sitcoms and they had kind of melancholy opening sequences. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's on purpose. I think it's just to show that the reality is kind of crumbling around and it's getting kind of sad. Yeah. Nip, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it was cool. It was nostalgic. We had talked about it would be like a mix of Growing Pains and Family Ties, I think a couple episodes ago, where we were talking about the 80s episode. So it was kind of like what we had imagined it to be. Like she said, the song was kind of somber and everything. I think like you said, it was intentional because the tone of the episodes are shifting to more of a serious, sad type of thing going on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and it ends with straight the family thing. It's so cheesy, but cheesy in like a good way. Yeah, I'm definitely digging that vibe. And 80s is my favorite, one of my favorite decades. So I definitely dug the vibe of this episode for sure.
Vision got all the Womack outfits on in this.
The Mervin's fits for sure. So this opening shot scene with the babies, she's trying to use her powers to put them to sleep, can't do that. And so Agnes comes in. It feels like a lot of things, underlying things with this. Agnes is, she's aware of what's going on. I thought that was a great scene. Agnes was like telling her, "Should I retake this?" Like she kind of broke character for a second, asked her if she wanted to. So she's definitely part of what's going on, either manipulating her or she's not one of the citizens for sure. So I think this kind of furthers the argument of her being Agatha Harkness. But yeah, I thought that was a very tense scene, very good scene. What'd you think of that scene, the opening scene with the twins and Agatha? Agnes for now, Sarah.
Yeah, they definitely got to be in cahoots somehow. Like, I don't know if they're like splitting up the town, of who they're controlling, or if Agatha started it and Wanda was like, "This is cool, let's go with it." But I don't know. It made me feel really uneasy when she was like, "Should we restart this?"
Oh yeah, very very tense. Yeah, very very awkward. Very like, oh shit, what's going on?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I forgot what else you said.
So it feels like she's definitely manipulating for the kids, and like she's definitely there, like she's very intrigued with the kids. So Nip, what do you think about that too? Like her kind of like manipulating situations with the kids.
Yeah, it definitely felt like manipulation. I think the end game is to get the kids to grow up as fast as possible, so that Mephisto can swoop in there and take them. Or I'm still 95% sure it's Mephisto. Yeah, I think they're trying to throw some curveballs to get us get our eyes elsewhere. But I'm staying on the scent of Mephisto. I'm aiming with that.
So Agatha, right? She sprays lavender on the kids apparently, and I googled lavender, and lavender is apparently supposed to ward off evil spirits and like the devil. Do you think that plays into the Mephisto thing?
It has to have a key to it. Maybe that's trying to throw us off, or trying to throw them off of the like. Oh, I'm doing the right thing, but in real actually like trying to like setting the kids up for fucking possession or so.
And she's always coming out of the cuts out of nowhere, just like like how did she hear this? And then later on she brought the dog, and it's just like way too coincidental. There's something nefarious going on there. She's up to no good.
Well, yeah, and she clearly knows way more than anybody else. She literally said, "Kids, you can't control them," and it's like, oh, Wanda's figuring out that she can't control her kids, and Agnes just told them.
Yeah, she got like the little passive aggressive little jabs at people in situations.
Yeah. She's definitely that trope of a sitcom neighbor, like nosy neighbor, kind of like kind of all up in the stuff. But there's definitely some more underlying stuff, and that scene where she's like asking her if she wants her to retake it, where should I start from? That was like very awkward, very tense, and then that was definitely like, ooh. And then we have Vision kind of realizing this is kind of something's going on, and he's asking more and more questions, and it kind of always throws Wanda off when he's asking these questions, like it kind of like. No, let's change the subject. Let's not. No, everything's fine. And so we know something's going on. So we get more of the outside. I liked what they're doing with this episode now. Like I understand that love-hate for the first couple, where it's just we're stuck in the sitcom world. Now this is where I like where the show is going, where we're going to spend some time in both, and the world's kind of breaking down. So I definitely like if this is what the show is going to be going forward, and it was like this last week too. I'm definitely digging it. So Sarah, what do you think of this kind of how they're doing the show? They're going back and forth from the sitcom world into the real world. Difference from the first couple episodes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm like an easy sell. Seriously, I didn't even hate Game of Thrones like everyone else did. I was just like, oh, it could have been better. Yeah. But I mean, I love the first couple episodes because they're super, nostalgic and fun. But now that we know more of the puzzle pieces and can start to put them together, I'm loving this back and forth so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, what about you, Nip? You digging this vibe of the show now?
I mean, It's what we had discussed early on. We wanted to see more of the outside world mixed in, so we're getting what we wanted, and it's definitely up to par. To me, I still get like vibes of Lost, how they would go, into the real world and then back and forth, and you get clues here and there, but you still like left in the dark a lot. So I get some similar vibes to Lost, which I loved. I love that show. So until the end.
Until like the last season.
To the last season, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they don't screw it up. Well,
I think this is headed in a great story arc. We're gonna get a lead right into the multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange 2. So, and I don't know if you heard, but there's been tons of rumors about cameos and stuff this week all over the internet. We can talk about that later, though.
Yeah, I have it on the docket later. I definitely want to talk about some of the speculation for the big Luke Skywalker type cameo that she's talking about. Which I don't think
wasn't it.
I don't think this is it. No, this is huge, big, but no. There's, I think something's in. I have a couple theories on what it could be on that one too. All right, so we're back in the real world, and Photon. We see Photon, Monica Rambeau. She's in the getting X-rayed and stuff, and her X-ray doesn't come up. It seems to just be like light, whatever. And so she's definitely been. This is definitely kind of setting up her origin for her powers coming up. So we're definitely going to see some something from her from there.
I was wondering. My first note was, is she dead? Like, how does she not have any like scans? But super powers makes way more sense.
Yeah. So she's on her way to become Yeah, that's a Photon from the comic. And I forgot, I actually have her first appearance, which I bought like in a dollar bin. It's like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man annual number, I think 16. And that I just looked it up online. It's going for like $100 right now. So I gotta go dig in the archives and find where that book is.
Sell it while it's hot.
I know, I'm thinking about it. Like, yeah, I'll sell it now. Like, I might even have a couple of those. Those were like standard, like quarter issue, dollar issue bin books. And now it's like worth $100. So
buy some Dogecoin. Buy some Dogecoin with
it. Buy some AMC stock. So we're in the real world. Darcy names the hex power in the comic that's what her Scarlet Witch's powers are, the hex. So she officially named. So pretty much Darcy's going to be like naming all the shit. She's pretty much the fan perspective for a lot of this stuff. Her and Jimmy Woo. So they're definitely from the fan angle. So we're. And also they brought up they talk about Wanda's history, all the stuff from starting from Age of Ultron, the Civil War. All the stuff that she's kind of done, and she's kind of done some bad stuff. And he brought up a good point, Jimmy. They brought up a good point that she doesn't have a nickname. They've never called her Scarlet Witch in the movies or shows or anything. So I think this is where she gets her name, the Scarlet Witch. So I think this is what her nickname's gonna be coming out of this. So we got that. So what do you guys think of this real world? The setup for the real world right here, Sarah?
I think Tyler Hayward is a bad dude, and
yeah.
I don't know. Any scene with him, I'm like, his face when Jimmy Woo was like, "Well, you kind of oversimplified her story." He like glared at him, death stare.
Yeah,
they hung on that shot for a minute, and then there was that moment where Darcy and Jimmy are talking, and she's like, "He's a," and then they skip to the other person and say terrorist. Like, did you notice that little cut? She's trying to say he's such a dick, and then they like move to Hayward saying terrorist to finish the sentence.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think there's definitely some more to this character. And Nip, I think you're the one that kind of brought it.
I didn't like that son of a bitch from day one. I told you. Shifty scumbag. Yeah. And now we see hints of that. I don't know if it's Hydra. Or like he's an agent of Mephisto somehow, being manipulated possibly.
Or Mephisto himself.
Or Mephisto himself could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely an asshole. I called it from the first scene. I was like, this dude's a prick. He's just condescending and just like argumentative, just being a prick like all around.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him already. You could tell. Wu doesn't like him. Geraldine, whatever, doesn't like him. Monica.
Yeah.
And as far as Darcy, it seems like she's taken up the mantle of like Cisco Ramon on Flash, where she's like with all the commentary and nicknames and stuff like that, because they were asking her like, "What do you got for a nickname for him?" So she's probably gonna be the one to drop the Scarlet Witch at some point.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely a good shout. Yeah, that's definitely kind of the vibe you get from her. And so we get to see the footage of Wanda breaking out Vision's body from Sword, and I guess there was a deleted scene in the Avengers. Was it Endgame that kind of showed Wanda visiting Vision's body? So they cut that, and I guess they wanted to do this. They had bigger plans for that. So they show Wanda going in, breaking in, and we find out that Vision didn't want to be reactivated. He didn't want to be brought back. He didn't want to be used as a weapon. I guess he had a living will. So Sarah, what do you think of that scene, man? Wanda just going in, tearing house, and breaking out the Vision.
I think it's been manipulated for what Hayward's showing everyone else. Like, I think we're gonna get the real situation that happened later on, because I think in some of the trailers you can see that room with all the like drawers or doors or whatever. It's like squares with knobs, and you can see that in the background of one of the shots. So I think we're gonna get what actually happened later, and that they were probably trying to make Vision a weapon, and Wanda actually saved him from becoming that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get the shot from inside is where they're trying to resurrect him, they're torturing him, and like they're trying to manipulate him, and she comes in and takes him away. So yeah, I think there's definitely more to that. Nip, what do you think of that?
Yeah, you could kind of see in the security footage, like his body was like kind of like spread out. You could see they were doing some kind of shit to him. So I think she's right. Sarah's right. They're definitely trying to weaponize him again against his wishes. So I guess in that way, Wanda's. You get some slight hero moments there of her coming to the rescue of her husband. Did they actually get married?
No,
only on the WandaVision universe.
Yeah, right? in the show they did, but not in in the real life. No,
I got you.
Well, I don't know that they actually had a wedding, but
yeah, just snap your fingers. It could be so easy. So the kids age up. They get a dog. Sparky, and so the kids she tells them, oh, you can't have a dog until you're older, maybe when you're 10 or so, and they have powers themselves and they age themselves up. So what do you guys think of this little dog story? I think there's a lot more to this dog story.
Initially, I thought my first thought was it might be Mephisto, because you seem to get an animal in every episode. You had the stork, you had the rabbit, now you had the dog. Well, not every episode, but it seems like damn near every episode. So I'm thinking maybe these animals are Mephisto, and then you never see the dead dog. You just see Agnes holding it could have been anything. It could have been a little pillow or something. Yeah. So I kind of think, because Mephisto, he can shapeshift, right? No, it's all good. He can shapeshift in the comics.
He can do a lot of things. Yeah, I think he has shapeshifting powers too. Yeah, he has a lot of powers in the comics.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like it's kind of like a thing where every episode you get an animal. So I kind of think that could be him just coming in to spy on stuff, and then he makes a quick exit, but he make an appearance every episode or damn near every episode.
Yeah, what do you think, Sarah?
I don't know. I've heard that they had a dog in one of the comics named Sparky.
Yeah, in the Vision limited series, when Vision basically created his own family. It's kind of some similar plot. Vision creates a family for himself. He creates a wife and 2 kids, and they have a dog. He creates a dog for himself too. So there's definitely been some stuff like that in the comic.
Right. So I kind of wondered if it was more just like a plot device to get all these other things to happen, like Wanda making the collar and not hiding her powers anymore.
Yeah.
That was pretty big. There's also a weird situation with the mailman.
Yeah, that's the second time that there's been a weird situation with the mailman.
Yeah.
I think the first episode there was Agnes was like, oh, we don't want something about we don't want messages or something. What was it? I can't remember.
Don't kill the messenger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did the finger guns. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's and I think Agnes has a part of this. She's kind of manipulating. She wants these kids to age up, like Nip was saying earlier. Yeah, I think she's definitely trying to manipulate that situation. So the dog dies, and it kind of very, very 80s like sitcom kind of vibe to it. And the kids want her to age up. She wants wants Wanda to resurrect the dog. She's like, I can't bring people back from the dead.
Bullshit.
And
the kids called her on it too. They were
You created all this, and you can't do that. And so they start to like age themselves up because they don't want to deal with this emotion. So she stops them. It's like, no, you don't have to age up all the time. You don't have to grow older. And you can see Agnes is really trying to egg that on as much.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So
you that it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Older. Like that's all.
Older, yeah. Just more stuff to break your heart, really.
Exactly.
So we get another great scene in the office with Vision and Norm. They get an email from the outside. I guess this is the first email ever. So they get an email from Sword, kind of telling what's going on, and Vision kind of like turns off Wanda's powers, and Norm's freaking out and asking about his father. He needs to check on his father. He needs his phone. And he's, kind of freaking out. It's a very tense scene. So Sarah, what'd you think of this scene?
I just wrote, why is he playing the pronoun game? Make her stop. She's doing this. Like, who? Why are you playing the pronoun game? Which makes me think it's not Wanda.
Yeah, Agnes or I say Dottie, who I think I now claim is Clea from Doctor Strange universe, Doctor Strange comics.
That is, so y'all will have to explain that.
She's she's basically like a sorceress, straight like a rival sorceress from what I remember.
She has Dormammu's powers, I believe. She's from the same realm as Dormammu, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I'm not I'm no specialist on this, but
you are to me.
From my limited digging, that's what I got.
Yeah. All right. So our next scene we're going to talk about Monica figures out, okay, the stuff we bring in is going to get manipulated. So her uniform from the when she first got in there was part bulletproof. She had her bulletproof vest on, and so the material got transmuted into a dress and outfit. And so she figures that out. She shoots the outfit. It's like, oh, this is 90% Kevlar. So whatever goes in there, it's the same material. It just gets manipulated. So they figure that out. They figured out, okay, well, if anything that goes in there gets manipulated to the time period, what if we get something from that time period and bring it in? So that's kind of a clever thing. They get a drone from the 80s and put it in there. So there's no reason for her to change it or manipulate it to fit the situation, because a drone from the 80s would fit into that era. So she brings in the era, the drone. It fix on Wanda, and Wanda, staring at there. It's a little stared out, and then your boy calls for the controls to be taken over and take the shot, and so that was a bad idea. So Wanda comes out pissed. She comes out hype. She's in her regular outfit. She was in the outfit she had on when she rescued Vision, and I think it's the same outfit she had at the end of Endgame too. So she comes out pulling the drone, pissed off, ready to take names. And so Sarah, what'd you think of that scene?
Well, first of all, back with the outfit scene, they mentioned Captain Marvel, which makes me wonder if something goes down with Monica and Captain Marvel between these timelines.
Yeah, she definitely took pause when she tried to change the subject right away when you mentioned Captain Marvel. So
yeah, I was like, oh, do we not like her anymore?
Something went down. Yeah, maybe she's upset that she left when she was a kid, and she hasn't seen her in so long.
Blames her for her mom or something passing somehow.
Yeah, maybe she thinks she could have helped her mom with the cancer or something. Yeah, basically, it's there's definitely more to that story, and that's not a throwaway line for sure.
Right. Yeah, and then I guess with the Wanda stuff, I just got this vibe that, I don't think she's trying to hurt anyone else. She could have just wiped them all out if she wanted to, but she was like, just leave me alone. Just let me have my fantasy.
Go through some shit, okay? Come on.
Processing some stuff. Just let me do it. Which is another theory I've been kind of tossing around. What if Wanda went on a rampage and this was actually just a creative way to get her to focus all of her powers into something else? Instead of destroying New York or something, why don't we just let her have this bubble and sacrifice a town?
Yeah, we all know about sacrificing the bubble, I tell you. All right. What'd you think of this scene, man? Wanda coming out getting hype on the troops and stuff?
Yeah, it was cool. And like you said, Hayward, he tried to kill her, so he's a prick again. And that was quick too. He didn't even let him talk much. It was just push the button, blast her. So there's something there.
almost like he was worried about some stuff coming out. So maybe he was trying to silence her before anything kind of got revealed. So yeah, he was very quick. Like he had at least like give her like her chance to talk to her and like kind of like have a conversation, but right away like take the shot.
Yeah, trigger happy. So when she comes out, you know, that was a cool scene to see her coming out of the bubble.
Cool. Well shot.
It was cool to see the lasers on her. It was shot well. Everything looked nice. And then she said something to him too, like about, I guess, Vision. What did she say? She said like you took him from me the first time or something of that. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. She said something like that to Hayward in the dialogue. Is she just talking about that, or the scene that we seen earlier, or is there something more to this?
I actually wrote that down. She says, I have what I want. No one will ever take it from me again. Is that what you're talking about?
When she was talking directly to Hayward, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh, that's interesting.
So there was something there. There's something that happened like before the series started, I believe, between her and Hayward. I don't know what.
I think it's him holding a Vision and trying to like turn him into a weapon and fucking with him. So I think she probably blames him for that. Like he's the acting director, so he definitely has a hand in it. And this apparently takes place like not too long after Endgame too. So this is like a few. I think I heard something like 9 days after Endgame or something like that. So
yeah, something like that.
I kind of have a far-fetched theory that possibly this might not even be the Wanda from this universe. It could be like a different Wanda. Possibly, I don't.
Well, and we'll go through it in a minute, though. But in the X-Men universe, they've always hinted at Wanda, like in the movies. They never showed her. They kind of in the Days of Future Past when Evan Peters first appeared in that movie as Quicksilver, they kind of hinted at Scarlet Witch being like his sister in a room upstairs, kind of locked up. So we never actually seen her. We did see another sister who was a little girl, but that wasn't Scarlet Witch. Supposedly there was like a cut scene where he's talking about his sister is locked up upstairs or something. So they never actually showed him. All right, so yeah, they're very tasty, very cool. And then we get this next scene was, man, this scene definitely probably one of my favorites. This whole scene was tense. They're kind of like Vision's asking her what the hell's going on. There's something I'm being manipulated. Something's happening, and you could see the Elizabeth Olsen's doing some like the best acting of her life here. Her emotions that she like she can go from like happy-go-lucky 80s sitcom to like depressed. You can see the sadness in her eyes. And they start arguing, and I laughed my ass off when the credits started rolling. She rolled the credits on him and was trying to like end the episode. I thought that was great. I thought it was a hilarious moment. So Sarah, what'd you think of this scene and Wanda and Vision kind of having it out?
Man, I don't know how she's going to come back from this, because Vision's getting clued in. How is she possibly going to like reset him back to this happy-go-lucky guy? Because he's literally like, I have no memory of anything. There are no children. He's figuring it all out. Like, where do we go from here?
Yeah. And he's a computer. He's a smart character. So he's definitely going to keep figuring this stuff out.
Yeah, her powers are clearly not controlling him as well anymore. So I don't know. I loved the roll credit things too, though.
It was funny.
We'll talk about this next week.
And it felt like a real fight too, like between a married couple. Like I've had those kind of fights.
This is the problem for future Wanda.
Yeah. So and they make up he's talking about there's no he points out there's no children in Westview, which I didn't trip on.
I didn't catch that either until he mentioned that.
Yeah, they talk about it a lot, and they talk about for the children in the first couple episodes and all that. But yeah, you never actually see any children in the. So I wonder, did she like purposely like leave out the kids in this, and she is only manipulating the adults? Is just some like weird cult town where they were like sacrificing children to Mephisto or some shit. It could be this town is a bunch of weirdos, like they're like doing like some weird occult shit in there. So some Children of the Corn shit, reverse Children of the Corn. So I don't know. It's weird.
Weren't they chanting again this episode? What part was that at?
When they read the email,
everybody started chanting again. So it was some weird shit.
What were they chanting? They
were reading the email.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But everybody like got synced up, right? And they started.
Yeah, everybody in the office just read the email all the way through, and Vision was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit going on here in this town.
Yeah.
Like you said, not everybody in this town was probably not innocent. They could be into some weird like witchcraft shit or something.
Yeah. Maybe they manifested a Mephisto, and that's how this whole thing started. Where Agnes comes to this town and like kind of starts the ball rolling, and then Wanda gets attracted to this town, and she kind of takes it over. And her trying to manipulate the town is them her trying to kind of exorcise Mephisto from the town, using her powers. Maybe, I don't know. It definitely has a lot of you could definitely go to a lot of places on this.
Yeah, they got me. I'm confused. I don't know what the hell is going on. There's so many different directions. It's like they're doing a good job.
Yeah, the children are blowing my mind. I'm gonna have to think about that because I recognize that there weren't any children in the first couple episodes, but I was like, oh, Wanda just forgot about them. No big deal. But since they are real people, yeah, where did the children go?
Where did all the children go? And start singing. Where are the children?
And in episode 2, there was a chant about for the children, so we know it's definitely just Wanda's kids.
Well, because they're doing a fundraiser for a school apparently, but
yeah, where are the kids? Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to go back and rewatch these episodes with all the knowledge you have and I can't wait to I'm gonna binge watch the whole series when it's all done just to kind of see the whole thing as a one big ass movie. Yeah,
I think Disney kind of messed up on that. I think they should have done 4 at a time, just make it. It'll be shorter, but it has such a better feel when you do them all together. I feel like
I just
not all of them at once, but 4 at a time I think would be okay, or 3 at a time or something like that.
Yeah.
I love.
You disagree, Sarah?
Yeah, I love it. Such torture.
I do like the feeling of back in the day when you're like waiting to anticipate. Like I can't wait for the next episode. Like the last three weeks, I've been like, oh, I can't wait for
on Thursdays.
I can't wait. Like I'm staying up 12:01. I'm throwing it on. I can't wait. Yeah, so it's definitely got me hooked. All right, so before we talk about the big reveal. So we had another commercial. We had a commercial for Lagos paper towels. So this is definitely there's something to these. And somebody pointed out that these are kind of like hinting at the Infinity Stones. Every commercial is kind of hinting at one of the Infinity Stones. So they had the red liquid on this of course Lagos is where Wanda threw the bomb up and killed a bunch of people trying to save other people. We had the soap, which kind of looks like a tesseract box. It was like a weird square, like you never see soap in a square box. We also had it's kind of hinting at these are something to do with the Infinity Stones. I'm not too sure. So Sarah, what'd you think of this commercial?
This was so sad to me because I think these are Wanda's ways of, I know a lot of people share this. This is Wanda's way of processing her past and kind of moving through it. And the tagline was, it was when you make a mess you don't mean to, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I feel so bad for her because that was the situation in Lagos. And I think that's kind of the situation now is she's like, this was a really good idea, but now it's hurting Vision and my kids don't know what's happening. And I don't know. I just felt bad for her. Do y'all think that the characters in this are her parents, by the way? Do y'all...
That's the big rumor, her adoptive parents, because in the comic, of course, she's for most part she's Magneto's kid, so she did have adoptive parents. So I wonder if this is it, and it gets revealed oh yeah, you're not our birth kid. So I don't know. It has to tie something into her past. So I wouldn't be surprised if we'd see a flashback with those people as their parents.
Yeah.
And raising the 2 little kids, and maybe you'll see them picking them up or take them from an orphanage or some shit, or getting dropped off by a big cow lady. Bova.
Okay, y'all have to explain that one to me later. Maybe
you can a good episode that explains it if you want to watch the X-Men cartoon. On Disney Plus, it's called Family Ties, the X-Men '90s cartoon. It's kind of a cool little 20-minute kind of comic book origin of Wanda and Pietro. So you it delves into a lot of their stuff in a quick little nice little 20-minute package. So if you want to go back and kind of watch that one, it's definitely something interesting to check out.
Definitely, and that's my favorite X-Men cartoon for sure.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh, that series, I watch it with my daughter now. She's 9. She loves it.
Yeah, it's great.
We had watched the other one. What was that one called? X-Men Evolution or something like that?
That was all right.
She didn't like this much. She likes this one better, the 90s one better.
Wolverine and the X-Men is better for sure. If you want a better X-Men show, check out that one.
I'll check that out with her.
Yeah, that one's a little better. All right. So Yeah, it's so we get the big reveal. So you see the back of the head. You get a knock at the door. You see the back of the head. So you kind of think, oh, it's Ellen Taylor Johnson from Age of Ultron, who played her brother in that movie. But nope. You turn around. It's Evan Peters. Evan Peters from X-Men. Days of Future Past, where he first appeared, has Quicksilver. So this is a big reveal, and he was already rumored to be cast in this. So people thought maybe he's going to play a cameo, a small role. We don't know. But it looks like he's coming in. This is a big role, and Darcy points out, she recast Pietro, which is a great kind of fourth wall kind of thing. So we get Pietro coming in, and it looks like he's going to be the cheesy like 80s 90s like uncle character, like Uncle Jesse coming in all like, hey, I'm here, hey, look at me. Yeah, this is huge. So they're bringing in the X-Men characters, and it looks like they're going to bring in other characters too. If they're going to bring him as a Quicksilver, I think they're going to be coming in kind of. They get to pick and choose what characters they want to bring in from the X-Men universe. He was definitely one of the standouts in the X-Men. The X-Men universe is kind of a mess all over the place, but there's definitely some standouts, and he was definitely a fun character in Days of Future Past. His like short screen time was great. So Sarah, what do you think about this? You're not a big fan of the X-Men movies, or you haven't checked those out?
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I've seen all the Lord of the Rings. I've seen all everything else. Star Wars. I never got into X-Men, so I was Darcy. I was like, oh, that's a different guy. And why does he have this weird accent? But that's as far as I got.
Yeah, so. Yeah. His Days of Future Past is definitely one of the better ones when he first appears. So if you're going to check out one, definitely check his first appearance in that movie for sure.
I said just skip them all. You're better off just going in fresh.
Or you can just go watch the clips online. You can always do that too.
There's like two. How many X-Men movies were made? Like 6 or 7. I say like 2 of them were good.
There's about half. I think half. Like the second one.
There's not a lot of continuity either. They just switch shit up.
Yeah, they make them. It's a mess of continuity. So Nip, what do you think of this, man? Evan Peters coming in as a Quicksilver from another universe.
Yeah, we had mentioned this too. I think it was good. It was cool to see him, and then the accent thing. I think that's just kind of like he came into that reality, so it switches up accordingly. So they're making him into that cheesy 80s character, as Ray was saying. It was definitely, I didn't expect to see it so early in the show, but then when they had that conversation earlier and they were talking about her brother, I knew something was coming. I just thought it would be like an episode or 2 later. So I was a little bit surprised that he came. And are we taking Wanda at her word that she didn't do this when she's talking to Vision?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe she tried to resurrect. Like, remember, she mentioned she can't bring back the dead, so she tried to bring back Pietro from this universe, and this is the Pietro she brought back. She brought back one from a different dimension. So that's maybe that's how they. I don't know. It's definitely some more to the. More to this, and there's going to be a reason why she brought this Pietro back instead of Ellen Taylor Johnson.
I've heard people speculating that this is Mephisto. I don't see that. I don't. Why would he come as her brother? I mean, I guess it's tricky, but
that could be a swerve. But I don't think you bring him in and just kind of swerve us like that. I don't think they're going to do it like that.
Was she surprised? Like, she didn't seem surprised that it was him. Like,
well, she was shocked to see him,
shocked.
but she didn't say, "Oh, you're not my brother" or nothing. She looked like she was shocked to see him, but then she didn't. She quickly embraced him and quickly hugged him. So it's not like she was like, "Oh, you're not my brother, I'm not going to hug you." No, she was like, "Oh, you're my brother," boom, and hugs him. So there's definitely more to that. There's definitely.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, is it Bedazzled? Is that the old Brendan Fraser movie where it felt like she made a deal with the devil and it went a little awry? She was like, "I want my brother back," and then they sent him her brother, but a different version of him. She's kind of like, "Oh, this is
like a better version of the wishes from Wonder Woman 84, right?"
Yeah. But I didn't get the vibe that she did it herself. Kind of like earlier, I think when she was fighting with Vision, she said, "I don't know how any of this started." Like, I do actually believe her when she says that. I think that it kind of got rolling and then she just became an active participant in it, but she doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah, and it could have been like something whoever's in charge here, whoever's trying to keep her here, did to appease her, to keep her in the bubble even more. you know,
Right.
because she looked very sad when she was talking about her brother. He's
Yeah.
far away. So then he just comes out of nowhere.
And it's a big distraction. Like Vision was breaking some shit down, and he was getting some answers. And right when they were going to crack some of these answers, like, oh, here's a big, here's your brother back. So here's a big distraction now.
Right.
Yeah, so it's this brings up a lot of stuff, like, and this is pretty much the introduction of the X-Men, and I hope they can like pick and choose some of the characters. Like, if they're gonna bring him back, is she gonna try to bring her back her father? And she brings back Magneto, but from the other universe, and so this kind of starts the ball rolling with the mutants in the MCU. I would love to pick and choose some of the characters, because some of the characters, say what you will about the X-Men movie, some of the characters they nailed pretty good. Some of them they did horribly. So I wouldn't mind seeing, like, if they bring in Fassbender as Magneto in this universe, I'd be totally down with that. Yeah, he's definitely one of the highlights of the X-Men movies. So yeah, this man, it's a lot to unpack with this. Do you think? Where do you think this goes, Sarah? What do you think? What are we going to see this next week? What do you think? We're going to see more of the. Is he going to stick around for the rest of the series? Do you think, or you think he's just going to be like in the next episode and something's going to happen? He goes away.
I feel like it's a pretty big reveal to just kind of brush under the rug immediately. So I would hope that he either sticks around or maybe he leaves and comes back. Or I think he needs to be an active participant somehow. It'd be pretty weird to just have like him walk in the door once.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm stuck on who the heck is the witness protection person. I just can't, like, is it the mailman? Is it Ralph, the husband? Who is this who started this whole thing and why?
They talked about there's the astro engineer that they need to bring in to help help build something so they can enter.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I know somebody.
Yeah. So, Nip, would any theories on that? Who you think that might be? Like, I have a couple theories it might be, but
nothing solid. I was kind of in the dark on that because there could be so many people. It's kind of vague. Yeah. Let's go to your comic expertise on this one.
Well, if it's Astro, my first thought was maybe Reed Richards. If they bring Mike Krasinski John Krasinski in as Reed Richards, which has been fan cast for like the longest time, and if that's the Luke Skywalker type cameo she's talking about, like you bring in Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards to help out and like kind of engineer something that would be huge. I think that would be like a Luke Skywalker's level cameo. It could be a couple. I've heard people talking about maybe some characters from Iron Man or some you can bring in Victor Von Doom before he's Doctor Doom. He kind of comes in and helps the situation. It could be a few things, but I think that's either the victim they were talking about. And Sarah, you were talking about maybe was it Simon Williams?
Fillion is what I've heard.
Yeah.
So I, in my little sleuthing this week, I heard that Nathan Fillion was cast as like Wonder Man in another movie, and they cut most of his scenes, but there have been nods to it, which I don't know anything about Wonder Man, so I don't know what the nods would be. But I mean, if I was an actor, Nathan Fillion would be up there as far as like. I actually almost touched him once. He was away. I just restrained myself.
Then security tackled you.
We thought about it. Yeah.
Wonder Man, and I believe it's in Guardians of Galaxy 2. I think he was he's like a movie within the movie. He's like he's a movie star in the comic, and so they had like a movie poster with Nathan Fillion, Simon Williams, and Simon Williams. It's very complicated. The past with Simon Williams, as he's all ties to, because he was in love with Wanda. They actually use his brain pattern to create the Vision. So Vision has part of Simon Williams's brain pattern. So it's very weird and complicated.
What if Vision is Wonder Man?
It could be.
I don't know.
It could
be. Like, he's a movie star, right? You said, and they're on TV.
That's how they maybe that she uses Simon Williams' essence to bring him back, so he definitely has a lot of ties, and he also has ties to the Grim Reaper, which they've kind of teased already. They
solved it, like click.
Simon Williams is Grim Reaper's Simon Williams' brother. And Grim Reaper has the power to bring back people from the dead. So I think they're definitely hinting at some shit from the Grim Reaper. And it's so many deep shit in this fucking show. There's so many things to break down.
Well, that makes sense because she was saying she doesn't have the power to bring people back, right?
Yeah,
and she seemed fairly sincere there. I wasn't sure. I couldn't get a great read. And I was surprised that Agnes was like, "You can," when the kids were like, "You can do that, Mom." So she didn't seem to be in on it either.
So Grim Reaper has ties to Mephisto, correct?
I think so. Yeah, they all have like all those like old Avengers like villains have like ties to each other. So yeah, I think Mephisto has some ties. I'm not sure if he gave him his powers.
Shit. I don't care. I'm sticking.
We're holding on to Mephisto no matter what.
It has to be Mephisto. If it's not Mephisto, you better come up with something better, because if anything under Mephisto is going to be kind of a letdown. So I think it has to be Mephisto. I think it's just. Yeah, I saw some like fake toys that some people posted trying to like throw Mephisto in there. Like, that's fake. It's not real. So, yeah, it's definitely gonna. All right. So, looks all right. So we got the 80s over. Are we gonna stick with the 80s? Or are we going to the 90s next episode? Nip, what do you think?
So the Halloween episode looks 80s to me still.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
But then I did watch the promos, and they had like a Modern Family episode mixed in there within episode 6. It looked like. So I'm not really sure.
So it looks like we're going to jump the sitcom like decades a little further, because we still have the Roseanne episode coming up, like the Roseanne type episode. So we're definitely going to get something set in the 90s. So, they
could just be throwing everybody off with Marvel and trailers. They're not sincere with them. They throw some shit in there. They got me.
They're filthy liars, man.
I'm looking forward to the Halloween episode, though. I want to see them in their traditional costumes. I think that'll be dope.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're getting that next episode, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think it was already showed.
Right? Yeah.
Like we saw Vision in his comic costume, we saw Wanda in her comic. I hope we see Quicksilver in his comic book costume, his original blue, his cheesy blue and white costume. So I hope we definitely see that. Yeah, no, it's what do you think, Sarah? What do you think we're gonna get next coming up? I think we
gotta keep moving. There's only like 9 episodes in the whole season, right?
Yeah.
And we're on 6 next, so I think we've got to keep going forward in the timeline.
Going to the 90s.
If we're in the 80s, though, there's 4 episodes left, so we could do 80s again, and then 90s, 2000, 2010.
I'm assuming that there's going to be at least one episode where we're probably not in the sitcom world at all anymore.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I assume probably like the last one. Yeah, we probably won't, like, it would probably be totally on the real world and then kind of like the aftermath. And I heard rumors of a possible 10th episode. Like they're
I heard that too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so possible like surprise 10th episode. So I don't know. Maybe that's going to be like a prologue or epilogue.
Why not? I love the 80s. Let's stay
there. Yeah, no, it was a big decade for sitcoms. So you definitely could go a lot of places with it. So yeah, it's a hell of an episode. Great. Like this show just keeps getting better and better every week. Like I can't wait for the next episode. Every time it ends, like, oh man, this was the longest episode too. I think this was like on 41 minutes with the credits. So definitely the longest episode. So I like that vibe. We get the world feels more fleshed out. We got some time in the sitcom. We got a lot of time in the real world. We got some questions answered. We got more question to ask, more stuff to think about and sit on. So yeah, it's just it's just so many good things about this. Overall, Sarah, what would you give this episode out of 10?
Like I said, I'm easy to please. Like 9. I woke up at 9 a.m., which is very difficult for me to watch this episode twice.
Yeah, would you say the best episode of the season so far?
I think so, just because like we're getting more pieces to the puzzle and there's more to talk about, more information in general. I think so. And we're getting more inside like Wanda's motivation, I think, which is exciting. Yeah,
very cool. Yeah. Nip, what do you think, man? What do you give this?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with her. I'll give it a 9 as well. You get both sides now. You're getting the real world, real time, and then you're getting the sitcom, but a little bit less of it. But you're still getting what you're getting in there is more. You're getting more storyline pieces, moving faster. So definitely a 9, and it's steadily increasing. So I'm sure we'll get a 10 in here some one of these episodes. My daughters are loving it though. I let them stay up late for this, and they're like, at first they're like, like I was too, and now they're like, yeah, we love it, and they're totally fully invested in it. So definitely a 9 for me.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah, I'll give it a 9. So we'll go 999 666 side of the beast.
Flip it over.
Like every episode is amping up. I think like every episode I've liked a little bit more, So like shit, by the end of this series is going to be the best series. Like I'm loving this, man. I'm loving the deep dives and the cinematic universe and all the little comic book references and all the all the mystery of this and all the exploring these sitcom tropes, which I'm a big sitcom guy. I love sitcoms from back in the day. So it's definitely this is definitely just amping up. I'm loving the outside world, all the characters in the outside. I'm digging. So yeah, this show's amazing. This show's really, people. I understand the criticism for the first couple was slow. People want to know what's going on, but it's definitely rewarding you for like sticking around and watching it and like kind of, not giving up on it because it's definitely it's an amazing show, man. I'm really digging it for sure.
Well, you had a lot of people complaining about Marvel's stale. It's the same stuff over and over again. So this kind of gave people what they wanted, and some people didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it at first. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, I had some issues. I was like, all right, I want to see what's going on. I need more. Like, don't, you're teasing me now. So yeah, no, I'm digging where it's going. So for sure. Yeah, cool. So Sarah, any final thoughts before we get out of here? Anything you want to shout out? Anything? Where's John Mayer appearing?
Hold on, can we do theories on who the cameo is gonna be?
The who? Oh, the cameo. Okay. Well, I said Nathan Fillion. I said Reed Richards. Who do you think?
I've heard rumors of Tobey Maguire, but I don't see how he would fit in there. Like, I mean, he is the big Luke Skywalker type, but why would Spider-Man have such ties with Wanda? There's never been that much there in the comics, has there?
Not really, no. Unless they're just trying to tie into the multiverse. And
multiverse.
Yeah, maybe she brings him in by accident, or like she thinks she needs help from somebody, and she brings in the wrong Spider-Man. Maybe. I heard Tom Holland too. Like, heard that he might show up. There could be anybody. I think if you really want to, if you're gonna set up the Fantastic Four, like you'd bring in Reed Richards as a cameo, Krasinski. Like, oh man, I think that would people would blow people's mind. I think that would be on the level of Luke Skywalker for sure.
But he doesn't have that like backstory yet. Where I mean, I guess comic book wise, but like MCU wise, I was thinking like it would have to be somebody with a little bit of backstory. I was thinking possibly Tony Stark.
But he's dead.
But we see that dead people can appear in the Wandaverse.
Oh yeah, maybe she resurrects him.
I mean, it wouldn't make much sense. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and this is a friendly neighborhood, so
yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe they need a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What about Professor X? Because doesn't he come in and try to help Wanda in one of the one of the comics?
Yeah, a few times, like a House of M. Yeah, he comes in. Wolverine. What if you bring in Hugh Jackman? Like it's that would be a big huge moment right there. Maybe Magneto. Bring in Magneto as her father. She tries.
He makes the most sense to me because there's direct tie. Yeah.
Yeah. Either Fassbender or I think Ian McKellen's a little up there. But if you're going to bring in Magneto, bring in Fassbender. I think that'd be great because he's definitely a standout from that series.
That would be my pick. I'll say Magneto is the cameo we're looking for. Yeah, one of the versions. I'm not sure if the older one or the younger one.
Yeah. So Nathan Fillion, Sarah, Magneto, and Reed Richards. We should do a poll. Let's do a poll. Who gets it right? $10 each. We're gonna have a cameo.
We all have Venmo, so it shouldn't be an issue.
All right. Cool. All right. Any other? All right, Sarah. Any other final thoughts before we get there?
I just had one more question, actually. When Wanda makes the energy field red, was there anything specific that I should know about that?
Well, that's her power. Her power is I think she's pretty much closing off the area and oh no, motherfuckers can't come in anymore. And she now she knows that they have ways to get in there. So I think it's her just kind of putting extra protection around the venue.
It's interesting that she didn't do that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe she didn't think that it would be that big of a deal. She took over this small know-nothing town, and she didn't think it was going to be people wouldn't notice. And she also did manipulate those cops to forgetting that the town even existed. So maybe she thought she had her bases covered. She didn't think somebody was going to Jimmy Woo and Monica were going to actually discover this area. So it
actually does say that just a matter of dealing with the whole town takes up a lot of power.
Yeah.
So maybe she just didn't want to waste it on it. I don't know. But I was like, oh, well, why didn't she just do that to start? She didn't want anybody bothering her.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
Yeah.
Nothing to plug. Just here to
plug. Where's John Mayer appearing this week?
I don't know. He was on Instagram a few nights ago when I couldn't sleep, so that was lovely.
Keeping you up at night. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Awesome. Nip, you got to plug your the Gold Dirty Bastards?
Yeah. So Gold Dirty Bastards is our podcast, basically focused on sports. We got a couple of, good friends on there talking shit to each other, talking shit about sports from our perspective. We do a little bit of analysis, but it's mostly shit talking and, us being assholes. So it's fun. Check it out. Ray Doomzilla appears a lot on there. And also Max Effort comes on. So check us out. YouTube, just search Gold Dirty Bastards, and the Bastards is with the Z. You can also check us out on IG. We post a lot of memes on there. Gold Dirty Bastards podcast on IG and with the Z.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Yeah, check us out. Like the video. If you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see some more of it, we do a weekly show, SF Company Hour, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Check us out. We just talk comics, movies, toys, TV, like whatever geek stuff that's happening that week. We'll have a lot of we're going to talk some figures and some Super Bowl ads this Tuesday. So check that out. And come check us out, WandaVisionaries, every Friday after show, usually 11 o'clock. So come check us out. We're doing this for all like the Disney Plus, Star Wars, Marvel stuff. So yeah, check us out for that.
Is this a permanent host or is this a guest host?
I don't know. It was pretty awesome on here. I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Talk around her. She's so busy right now. I don't know.
Is he really? Is anybody
now? Yeah, no, Sarah, great, awesome, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, right on.
It's my first appearance on the YouTube.
She's gonna blow up and like she's gonna have her own channel. Then we have nothing. She has a lovely singing voice too. Don't
you dare make me sing.
All right,
so sing the little Sokovia lullaby thing.
Yeah,
did you guys see that they translated that? By the way,
no, I didn't see that.
I did, but I don't remember what it was. Do you remember?
No, it was like standard.
Some weird shit.
Yeah, standard lullaby stuff. Okay.
Yeah. But they did translate it. Just FYI.
All right. Well, all right. Thanks everybody that's watching. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check us out. Check out the Gold Dirty Bastards, and check out our channel for more stuff. And see you guys next week. Go Wanda.
Peace out.